There is something about powerful men that most people misread completely. When you watch them speak, calm, collected, almost unreadable, you think you are watching confidence. But you are not. You are watching control. And those two things are not the same. Confidence is something you feel. Control is something you build. Every single day, in private, through decisions most people never even think about making. The men at the top of the world, the ones who build empires, move markets, and change the direction of entire industries, they are not operating the way you think they are. They are not louder. They are not smarter in the way school taught you to measure smart. They are just different, in ways that are hard to name until someone finally points them out. That is what this is. This is not a list of tricks to manipulate people. This is a map of how power actually works inside the human mind. And once you see it, once you really see it, you will start noticing it everywhere. In boardrooms, in conversations, in the way certain men walk into a room and the room shifts. Pay attention. This one matters. The first thing, most people talk too much. Not because they have too much to say, but because silence makes them uncomfortable. So they fill it. They explain things that didn't need explaining. They justify decisions that no one asked about. They keep going long after the point has already landed, just to avoid the feeling of quiet. And here's the thing about that. It costs them everything. Because silence is not empty. Silence is pressure. And the man who can hold it, who can sit inside an uncomfortable pause without flinching, that man is already in control of the room before he says a single word. Watch Elon Musk in a tense interview. Someone throws him a sharp question, the kind designed to destabilize him, to make him look contradictory or defensive. And he doesn't rush. He just pauses, sometimes long enough that it gets awkward. But not for him, only for the person waiting. And when he finally speaks, he gives you exactly what he decided to give you. Not everything he knows, not a full explanation, just enough to make you think. Not enough for you to argue. That pause is not him searching for an answer. That pause is him choosing how much power to give away. There is a name for this in psychology. It is called strategic ambiguity. When you say less, you force people to interpret you. And the moment someone is busy interpreting you, they have handed you the conversation. They are reacting to you now, not the other way around. Most people are afraid of being misunderstood, so they over-explain. They give too much. They remove all the mystery. But powerful men understand something underneath all of that. Being slightly hard to read is worth more than being easy to understand. People lean toward mystery. They think about it. They come back to it. The man who says less, in the right moment, leaves a mark that lasts long after the man who said everything. The second thing, before a conversation begins, the man who set the frame has already decided how it ends. Think about what a frame is. It is the invisible lens through which everything gets interpreted. It is the context you create before a word is even spoken. And powerful men are always building frames. Not out of manipulation, but out of a deep understanding that reality is never neutral. It is always being constructed by whoever showed up first. Steve Jobs understood this at a level that was almost unsettling. Before he ever revealed a product, before a single specification, a single image, he would spend minutes doing something that looked like philosophy. He would talk about moments in history, about how technology changes human life, about revolution, about what it means to be alive in this particular era. And by the time the product appeared on screen, the audience was not looking at a device anymore. They were looking at destiny. He had already decided for them how to feel. That is not salesmanship. That is architecture. He built the room before he let you walk in. Elon Musk does the same thing, just differently. When Tesla was first being positioned to the public, he didn't lead with the car. He led with a question about the future of civilization, about oil, about survival, about what world your children inherit. And suddenly, a purchase decision, something as ordinary as choosing what to drive, became a moral act. A statement about who you are and what you stand for. The frame was set before you even knew you were inside one. This is something you can watch in everyday life once you know what to look for. In meetings, in negotiations, in arguments. The person who opens the conversation, who says here is what we are really discussing, has already shaped the outcome before anyone else speaks. Not because they are louder, but because they decided the terms first. Control the frame, and you don't need to win the argument. The argument is already yours. The third thing, there is a specific kind of cold that powerful men carry inside them. Not cruelty, not emptiness, Something more precise than either of those. It is detachment, when things fall apart. And for powerful men, things fall apart constantly, at a scale most people never have to face. They do not go with it. They slow down while everything speeds up around them. Not because they don't feel it, but because they have learned something most people never do. The way you feel about a crisis is almost never useful. What matters is what you decide to do inside of it. In 2018, Tesla was close to dying. Production of the Model 3 was collapsing. Short sellers had placed billions of dollars on the company failing. Journalists were already writing retrospectives. Investors were terrified. And inside all of that, Elon Musk moved into the factory. Physically, he slept there. Not for the story, because there was no good story in it at the time, but because it was the only way to signal to himself and to his team that the scale of the problem did not have permission to break their focus. He felt the pressure. Of course he did. But he put the emotional experience somewhere else, somewhere private, and kept working from the part of his mind that could still think clearly. Compare that to how the average person handles something going wrong. A project fails, a plan collapses, and almost immediately, the feelings become the loudest thing in the room. The problem stops being something to solve and becomes something to experience. The suffering becomes the activity, and the problem sits there, unchanged, while the person moves through every stage of their reaction to it. Powerful men are not robots. They grieve. They get angry. They feel the weight of things. But they have trained themselves, deliberately, over years, to delay that process until after the decision is made. The decision comes first, in public, under pressure. The feeling comes later, in private, when there is space for it. That separation, between how you feel and how you function, is the foundation that everything else in a powerful man's psychology is built on. Without it, none of the rest of this holds. The fourth thing, there is a currency that most people waste every single day without realizing it, and it is not money. It is attention, not the polite kind, the nodding, distracted, half-present attention that fills most interactions. Real attention, the kind where you are completely inside a conversation, not thinking about what you will say next, not checking your phone, not somewhere else in your head. The kind where the person in front of you genuinely feels like the most important thing in the room. Powerful men know how to give this, and they know exactly how and when to take it away. Jeff Bezos had a specific way of operating in meetings that the people around him never forgot. When someone was presenting to him an idea, a proposal, a concern, he went completely still. He didn't interrupt. He didn't signal impatience. He just listened in a way that felt almost uncomfortable, like nothing existed outside that conversation. And then he asked questions. Not polite questions. Specific, precise questions that made it clear he had heard every word, caught every implication, tracked every thread. People left those meetings feeling seen in a way they couldn't quite explain. And that feeling made them want to earn it again. But the other side of that is just as powerful. When something or someone stopped deserving Bezos's time, when a project had failed its moment, when a relationship had run its course, the attention simply withdrew. No confrontation, no explanation, just absence where presence used to be. And the message that absence sends, to someone who had grown used to that quality of focus, it lands harder than anything you could say out loud. Most people give their attention away without thinking about it. They look at their phones mid-conversation. They listen to reply, not to understand. They let their focus scatter across everything and land fully on nothing. And over time, the people around them feel it, even if they can't name it. And they stop bringing their real thoughts, their real problems, their real respect. Powerful men treat attention like the finite, valuable resource it actually is. They choose where it goes. They make people feel the presence of it when they give it, and the absence of it when they don't. Both of those things are tools, and both of them shape how the world responds to you. The fifth thing, there is a basic principle in economics that powerful men apply to themselves. The rarer something is, the more people want it. Availability kills value. Not always, but almost always when it comes to people. When you are always reachable, always online, always ready to respond, always present at every event and in every conversation, you are sending a signal without meaning to. You are saying, my time has no cost. And people, even the ones who love you, even the ones who respect you, will start treating you accordingly. Not out of malice, just out of the natural way human psychology responds to abundance. Things that are everywhere feel ordinary. Things that are rare feel important. Look at how Elon Musk manages his public presence. He is one of the most recognizable people on the planet, and yet there are stretches of time where he simply isn't there. He doesn't respond to every provocation. He doesn't show up to every interview he is invited to. He doesn't explain himself every time someone misunderstands him. He chooses when to appear. And that choice, invisible to most people, is one of the things that keeps his presence feeling significant. When he speaks, people stop what they are doing, partly because of what he might say, but also because they are not used to hearing from him every hour. The signal comes through clean because it doesn't come through constantly. The average man does the opposite. He is always available, always responding, always visible, and slowly, without anyone deciding to do it, the people around him start to take him for granted. Not because they are ungrateful, but because his presence has been stripped of scarcity. This is not about playing games. It is not about ignoring people to seem important. It is about something more honest than that. Your time is genuinely limited. Your energy is genuinely finite. Your focus is actually one of the rarest things you own. Powerful men simply stop pretending otherwise. When you start treating your own presence as something valuable, something that has to be earned, not just received, other people start treating it that way too, almost automatically. The sixth thing, and this one is the most misunderstood. Most people think power looks like speed, fast decisions, bold moves, loudness, action. The man who strikes first, who responds fastest, who is always in motion. That is what we have been taught to read as strength. But the most dangerous form of power is the opposite of all of that. It is patience, the specific, deliberate patience of someone who is willing to wait longer than everyone around them thinks is reasonable, not because they are passive, but because they can see something other people can't yet. They can see the end of the timeline, and they are willing to pay the cost of the middle of it. In the mid-2000s, SpaceX had failed. Not once, not twice. 3 rocket launches, 3 failures. The money was almost gone. The investors had walked. The media had moved past mockery into something closer to pity. Every rational signal said it was over. And Elon Musk sat in the wreckage of all of that, did not pivot, did not change the mission, did not perform grief for the cameras, and used the last of the company's resources to launch a 4th rocket. It reached orbit. That is not luck. That is not stubbornness. That is the psychology of a man who has separated his sense of self from the current scoreboard, who does not need the external reality to match his internal vision in order to keep moving. Warren Buffett held stocks for decades while everyone around him chased faster returns. Jeff Bezos bled Amazon through years of losses, absorbing every criticism from analysts and competitors because his timeline was simply longer than theirs. He was not wrong, and they were not right. He was just playing a different game, one where the end was further out than most people are willing to look. Patience is not the absence of ambition. It is the refusal to let short-term discomfort rewrite long-term direction. It requires a kind of internal stillness that most people never develop, because most people, without realizing it, are optimizing for feeling better now, not for building something real later. The man who can wait longer, who can keep his conviction alive in the cold of the middle period when nothing is working yet, that man almost always wins. Because eventually the people who needed to win right now have already gone home. The 7th thing, the last one, and maybe the most sophisticated of all. Powerful men are not emotionless. That is a myth. The ones who last, who build real things and keep real relationships, they feel everything. They just do not perform it, except for one very specific kind of moment. And in that moment, they do something that most people, especially most men, are terrified to do. They show you a crack. Not all of it. Not the wound. Just the scar. Just enough. When Elon Musk talks about growing up, about being isolated as a kid, about the bullying that was serious enough that it put him in a hospital once, about years of not belonging anywhere, he is not doing it for sympathy. He is building a bridge. He is choosing one real, specific, deeply human moment from his life, and he is offering it as a gift to everyone watching who has ever felt like they didn't fit, who has ever sat alone somewhere and wondered if it was always going to be like this. And in the gap between that kid, small, isolated, eating lunch alone, and the man who eventually built multiple companies that changed the world, your own story finds a place to live. Your own impossible gap starts to feel like something that might be crossable. That is what selective vulnerability does. It creates trust at a speed that nothing else can match. Because in a world full of men performing invincibility, the one who shows you something real, even briefly, even carefully, disarms every defense you had. But the word matters. Selective. This is not emotional flooding. It is not performing pain for attention or connection. It is choosing one moment, making sure it is real, and offering it with intention. Just enough to open a door. Never enough to let you in so far that they lose your respect. The average person usually falls to one extreme or the other. Either they hide everything, which creates a kind of distance that makes real connection impossible, or they release everything, which overwhelms the people around them and creates a different kind of isolation. The powerful man finds the narrow path between those two extremes. He knows exactly how much to show and exactly when to stop. He shows you the scar, not the wound. Here is what all 7 of these have in common. They are not tricks in the way the title might have made you think. They are not strategies you apply from the outside. You cannot fake them, not for long, not in ways that actually hold. They are the natural behavior of someone who has done one very specific thing inside themselves. They stopped letting the world define the terms of their existence. When you say less, you are refusing to let discomfort make your decisions. When you control the frame, you are refusing to let someone else decide what reality means. When you stay emotionally detached in a crisis, you are refusing to let fear run the room. When you manage your attention with intention, you are refusing to let other people treat your time like it has no value. When you make yourself scarce, you are refusing to beg for relevance. When you choose patience over reaction, you are refusing to let short-term pain rewrite long-term purpose. And when you show vulnerability selectively, you are refusing to hide behind an image that keeps you permanently alone. These men did not wake up one day and decide to become powerful. They made a quieter decision than that. They decided, at some point, in private, in the middle of something hard, to stop operating from fear. And everything you just watched is what that decision looks like, lived out every single day. You do not become this by watching a video. You become this when the moment arrives. The conversation that is supposed to go badly, the plan that is falling apart, the room where every instinct is telling you to react, and instead, you pause. Just long enough to choose. Not because you have mastered any of this yet, but because you have decided to become someone who does. The gap between who you are right now and who you are capable of being is not measured by talent. It is not measured by luck or connections or intelligence. It is measured by the number of small moments where you chose differently, where you caught yourself before the reaction and made a different call. That gap closes one moment at a time, and the first moment is always right now. Before you go, stay here for one more second. Don't scroll past this. Think about the last time you reacted when you should have paused. The last time you explained yourself when silence would have been more powerful. The last time you gave your full attention to something that did not deserve it. Drop one word in the comments. Just one word. Not what you want to be, what you are starting to see about yourself. And if something in this video reminded you of a real moment in your own life, a time when you used one of these, or a time when you didn't and you wish you had, tell me about it. I read the comments. And sometimes the most powerful thing in the comment section is not my words. It is the story of someone else watching who finally recognizes their own reflection in yours. And if something landed but didn't fully click, if there's a question sitting in the back of your mind that you haven't quite found the words for yet, put it down there. Some things only open up when you go deeper, and I will go deeper with you. If this already felt familiar, if something in here put words to something you have always felt but never quite heard, then you already know why most people will watch this and keep scrolling, and why a few won't. What comes next goes somewhere most people aren't ready to go yet. It is about the psychology behind why certain men are watched when they walk into a room, and why others are invisible. Not because of looks, not because of money, but because of something underneath the surface that almost nobody talks about directly. If you are still here, you probably already know you are not the kind of person who wants to miss that.